Alright everybody, welcome to another broadcast with Katra545. I'm actually going to be broadcasting a game between myself and Tsammy. I actually ended up dropping in a placement match. I haven't played a whole lot, so I ended up dropping down to gold. I used to be platinum. Tsammy's going to be the red Protoss here. This is actually a really great game. I wanted to cast it. I did actually ask him for his permission. And what really ends up happening here is you see a good transition between both players just based on what they see. You're going to see a lot of poking. You're going to see a lot of expanding when attacking, attempting to expand when attack. There's just a lot in this game that I really wanted just to broadcast, because I know a lot of you out there, you're looking for some low-level players that are going to be right around where you're at, just in order to hone your skills so you don't go, wow, the pros are super, super cool. And you know, a lot of folks out there just, they don't understand that it takes time to get good. Those pros weren't good overnight, though some people say Asians can always play better than anybody else. Now, I do play random, so Tsammy's going to send out a scout really, really early. He did send it out right after Pylon. He does do a great job. He actually checks by the watchtower. He does not check by the other watchtower, and I'm just sending overlords out around the map just to see if there's anything funky that's going to be going on. Now, he does send his probe up into his base. Notice how it is hotkeyed on the 9. I'm just focusing on my economy, trying to do my build order. I see his probe. I don't want his probe to drop any type of pylons or anything, so I send a drone out. He does try and micro his probe around, and I go, no, you die now, nom nom. And he did try and save his poor probe by clicking on the minerals, but I decided to eat his probe with my drones, and I don't know how tasty probes are. Maybe they do taste, really good with salt or some cheese. Who knows? Right now, I didn't really want to send a drone out. I didn't want to send a lot of the, just lose any type of economy. I'm really worried about the 4 gate, which is a typical Protoss opening. It's a really large map, so the 4 gate's going to be a really big threat, especially if it gets up. Now, I did make another Overlord. I made an Overlord on 16. For when my spawning pool finished, so I can start my queen and another drone right away. That way I don't get supply locked and I continue to bring my income in. Now, I do have 2 Zerglings there, and they're actually rallied down to his base. And he's going to send out another probe. I don't think, or I didn't pay attention if the Zerglings actually saw the probe. And I do believe, nope, they just crossed paths. I don't even check the watchtower. He's coming up, he's checking to see if there's going to be an expansion. He doesn't see any creep, which is a big sign that it is a 1-base play. I didn't go for a fast expansion because, again, I was really worried about the 4 gate, and I don't quite remember how to defend against it, and I've never seen this map. He does have 2 zealots that are up. I'm running around. I see that he's chrono boosting his cyber core. He has his gateway down, and he has another gateway down. And he's still just trying to boost the core. I see that more pylons are starting to warp in. And right here, I'm just going, he's going to go a 4 gate, I already know it. Now, mind you, I didn't even see the probe. And I figured, oh, I'm going to be smart and I'm going to catch the probe when it's coming up here to do the pylon. Well, he already had his probe in my base. My fault. My macro ended up getting a little off, and I ended up supply locking myself just a little bit. As you can see, he is ahead of me. It's 32 to 34. Or I'm sorry, it was 32 to 26. And he is just starting that pylon there. And all of a sudden, I see a probe come up into my base. My queen's starting to nail on it. My roach is going to chase that probe down, and the probe just stands there and dies. Dead probe. Yay! Everybody loves dead probes. Now, for whatever reason, I'm going, okay, there's the probe. I know the 4 gate's coming. I need to be very careful. And as you can see, I have a little lone Zergling running around trying to find the pylon. I'm going, okay, his pylon's got to be around here somewhere. Where is it? And then I see it right there because it was going to be somewhere around my main base. The Zergling's trying to go ahead and wail on it. I bring out my entire force. He's trying to make his warp gates in. His timing's just a little off, but he did do a 3-gate robo and not a 4-gate, which is really good. He is trying to warp in 2 zealots. Probably had I actually focused the pylon down, I don't think he would have been able to get that final zealot. But he does see that I don't have many roaches. I only had 4 roaches and a handful of Zerglings. He is going to try and poke up here, and the stalkers are kind of, should be what carries him, but I do manage to pick a stalker off, He's got a lot of zealots. I didn't really want to run after the zealots and the stalker because I didn't know how much he had left. The zealots were running away, so I just decided to have my zerglings go and attack, and if I could, try and pick one off, if not severely injure him. He did end up turning around. I think I might have only turned around maybe one zealot in order to deal with the roaches and the zerglings. I do take the watchtower. He does retreat back to his base, and he cancels his expansion, which is really smart because right here there's an overlord there. I don't know why he didn't send the stalker to do it. Actually, I take that back. Yeah, I do. He didn't want to send the swings. Now, I am starting to spread my creep. Spreading the creep is really, really awesome. It allows the Zerg to move much faster across the map, gives them free vision, and really it's an early warning sign, especially if somebody has the like an observer or a raven or even an overseer, because all of a sudden you hear your base is under attack. And you then have to realize that, oh wait, those are my creep tumors. Now, I did poke just a little bit. I'm trying to poke up the ramp with 2 zerglings. I see that he has a stalker. I see that he has 2 sentries. And I see this warp prism pop out. And I'm thinking that he's going to try and do something kind of wonky with it. Be towards the back of my base. I do see that he is trying to get the nexus up. And he is trying to expand, which is really, really good. Now, I do send all of my zerglings down to go just to try and stop his expansion. I know that I probably can't, that he's probably warping in just a lot more units, and I don't want to be caught off guard. I really don't. Now, right there, the probe's just chilling there. Some of my zerglings go to try and finish off the probe, and I send one lonely roach. He does end up canceling, so I know that he loses quite a few minerals. And I come up and I see that there's not really a lot here. There's not a lot of troops. I do manage to pick off a zealot, a stalker, and the 2 sentries. Actually, 2 zealots, actually. Wow, I didn't realize I picked off that much. But all of those zealots are going to be way too much just for that one lone little roach. And I was going to try and do an ambush, and I get one more zealot, and the little roach does pick off all of his zealots. Well, some of them anyways. And he's warping in more sentries. He's got a lot of gas, which that's an excellent use of that. He did poke his warp prism out just a little too far, so I bring my queen back, and I also have a small force here to deal with anything that he may warp in. Now, when units are warping in, they do take additional damage. And as you see, just my gas is really starting to pile up. I bring my roaches back. I know that I can't break up there. I know that he's got a lot of zealots and probably a few other things, and I don't want to throw any troops away. He's done an excellent transition by transitioning into immortals because he saw that I had quite a few roaches and that I was making roaches before. The advantage that I've taken right now is that I do have my second base. I am starting to get it up and running, and here's my drone transfer. Now, as you can see with my queen, her energy's kind of high. I've been able to lay quite a few creep tumors, brand new ones. And right now, I'm just trying to spread the creep on the map. I'm trying to keep my micro and my macro down. I made another queen, and I'm really keeping an eye right here because I don't want him to get that second base up yet because I want the economic advantage. I didn't realize that his warp prism had moved right up here into the top left. Now, I think that I really forgot about these troops here for the rest of the game, and I never really used them. Now right here, I think that he might be, I don't know what he has yet, because if you go to my player cam, I'm trying to expand, I'm moving all around the map, I'm going to try and take my third. I see that he's trying to retake his second, and he's not canceling, which I'm going, okay, maybe I can poke up and do a little bit of damage. Now, I am sending a Zergling out to each of these little locations just to see if he's tried to take a hidden expansion that I didn't know about. As you can see, he didn't, and he has the pylon down, he's getting in his nexus, and I'm taking my third. For a Zerg, this is ideal because now I have 2 bases fully up and running. His main's going to be getting low on minerals, as you can see. He's got, 300, 500, 400, and he's only got about right around 475 on total on each patch. And right here, I send all my Zerglings up to try and just harass this Nexus, and I go, oh wow, that is a lot of Stalkers, and that's just quite a few Immortals. And I know that I can't take that army head-on. I just know that I can't take it head-on, and I'm pretty sure that he knows that he can't take me head-on, just because of how fast I can produce units. Now with the Immortal, I did decide to go air, and he hasn't. I don't know if he forgot about his warp prism here or not. Let's take a look. Do I even see that? No, I don't see that, but he doesn't even see my spire either. So we're both playing in the dark. Right now, I have used up a lot of my gas trying to get my mutas out. And as you can see, I have a lot of Zerglings. I don't have anything else to really dump my money into. I have 2 bases that are fully up. My other base that just ended up expanding. And I just have a lone overseer over here trying to figure out what's going on. He's chilling, just going doop-de-doop. I did actually drop a changeling. I saw that he had more immortals, he had lots of zealots, and he's tired of my overseer being there, so he's just going to pick it off with a stalker, and I didn't pay attention that it was still there, and I probably should have moved it and been smart about that, but I wasn't. As you can see, he has 5 immortals, and 5 immortals against a roach-heavy army. They're just absolutely going to get decimated. All of those roaches are going to die because the roaches can't do their damage. I mean, roaches do 16 damage to units, except for the immortals. With their shields, they only take 10, and then the immortals are pumping out 55 damage to the armored. Now, he does manage to send a lone zealot up, and all he sees is he just sees this wave of Zerglings come over here. I didn't realize he had taken that, but I was setting up for a double counterattack. I was trying to set up my Mutalist to come down and harass his mineral line, maybe take out some of his support structures, and then I would have the Zerglings hiding over here. When he tried to deal with this with his army, I'd send the Zerglings in to take out that expansion. Now, I didn't think that this would end up turning into a base race, as it will, as you will see shortly here. And you can desperately see, because I did see that the tower was glowing, you can see right here that I have my creep spread. I did click on his unit, and I did see that right there he had the Zealot with the 1 weapon upgrade. I don't have any upgrades of my own, so he's going to be able to slice through my Zerglings in 2 hits instead of 3. And he is sending an observer. The one thing that I probably would have done earlier is make another observer and just try and get a few more scouting information, because when I was talking to him, he said that the Mutalist really took him by surprise. And it's really hard because you only have Zealots, and the Zerglings can pick off the Zealots. They can also pick off any probes that you send. And right now, I'm just trying to target the pylons to depower his structure so he can't warp anything in on me. Now, I did see him come up. I see that I have these small little Zerglings here. He's moving up with the Stalkers. The Observer is able to start picking off my Creep Tumors. And right up here, it's pretty much just an auto battle. His Stalkers are going to be able to clean up both mutas, not a problem. And as you can see, I don't have a lot of roaches to defend my base. I have to bring my Mutalist up in order to deal with this. Had he probably put a few more Stalkers in the mix, I would have had a lot harder time, and he needs to do the Guardian Shield, because the Guardian Shield would reduce the Mutalist damage, I believe, down to 6, instead of the 10 that they do, and the bounce wouldn't have been as effective as well. As you can see, all of the Immortals end up going down because the Mutalists only deal 10 damage a shot, and then the Zealots end up going down as well. We were really friendly at the end of the game. He had we both said GG. He was kind of wondering what he did wrong. And he had a nice opening. He had a nice transition in order to counter the roaches. He had a nice army to be able to deal with the roaches. He had the Zealots up front in order to deal with their attacks, and also the massive amount of Zerglings that he knew that I had. And also, on top of that, I mean, he was getting the upgrades. I would probably say maybe running 2 forges and trying to expand a little earlier, but being in the situation that he was in, it's really hard to take your expansion and defend it, and then with the Mutalist, all hell breaks loose, and you have to drop tons and tons of money on cannons. It was a really good play overall. For both parts, it was an awesome transition. He transitioned into the exact counter that he needed for the roaches, and I transitioned into the exact counter that I needed to deal with the Immortals. As you can see, I did get 1 attack with my Mutalisks, and now he actually sees everything that I have. I have a limited number of drones. I did end up getting my 3rd base kind of started. and it's just really hard for a Zerg player when they take off, and then I had more over here that ended up getting picked off. But overall, it was a great game. I hope this shows everybody the transitions that they can have, in that, you know, if you scout a little bit earlier, especially with this Observer, I think had he had scouted with the Observer, he probably would have peppered in a lot more Stalkers into his army,